All right, class. Settle down. My name is Professor Gherkenstein, and today we're gonna learn about social etiquette. So I'll do this with math. I'll mathematically prove this to you. On this axis, we have confidence. I can spell, trust me. On this graph, we have incorrectness. And you do not want to be here, which is what we call the confidently incorrect area. I mean, it's also pretty to be down here, I suppose. But don't be here. That makes you insufferable. You're supposed to be lagom. Bli lagom. Lagom!
Well, good evening. Laddies, lasses and lassos, and welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else lie to you and tell you otherwise. Oh, wait a second. I did show off like my sportsmanship. Nailed it. And today we're gonna do something beautiful. As you might have guessed from the intro, we're gonna look through r/Confidently Incorrect. Oh yes, indeed, a complete cesspool of Facebook science, Twitter hot takes, and just some accidental ally moments. Enjoy. Mwah. Gonna give people a whiplash soon. I'm having a bit too much fun with these cameras.
Stop teaching kids pronouns and start teaching them grammar. Yes, slay. I'll refer you to the board. Don't be there. So I got my first tattoo. Home job, yes.
Why did you get the Star of David tattooed on you? You never striked me as a religious person.
It's a pentagram XD.
Penta is 5 points. Yours has 6, which makes it the Star of David.
I'm sorry, what? Tattooed person is right.
No, it's got 6 points. It's not a pentagram, it's the Star of David.
Count before commenting.
You both go Google it. I know I'm right. Okay, wait, let's actually count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the Star of David. I mean, half-based for wanting the satanic vibe and that kind of stuff. I mean, I can relate. I love my little demons and that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if the confusion comes from the fact that, 666 is a satanic number, so obviously a pentagram should have six edges and that kind of stuff. I can see where the confusion would come from, but it's probably good to double-check stuff before getting tattoos of it.
Now, how do you feel? I'm recording you.
You're not recording me.
I'm recording you, see?
Like I said, you're recording yourself. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you don't know how to operate the phone.
This has to be staged, right? This has to be staged. Is it? I like 50-50 is a stage right. This is the funniest thing ever. Oh my god, that's amazing. Sending a cloud back to the sky.
Oh, look at that. It's a tame little cloud.
A cloud can weigh 500 to 1,000 pounds. Just search how much does a cloud weigh.
It's literally smoke. How does it weigh something, little bro? Praying emoji.
It's not smoke. It's water.
Okay, well, water still doesn't weigh anything when it's just floating.
Let's see. Where did the pen go? I yeeted it at some point. Where did it bounce off to? Damn it. How am I supposed to do Click Academy when I can't write?
Alright, class. Imagine that the little gaycation emotional support demon is floating on water. How much does it weigh?
The gaycation doesn't weigh anything because it floats.
That is absolutely correct. Whoa!
I love science.
We need to stop using that word. We are not a democracy. Democrats use that word to trigger. We shouldn't be using it at all. The word democracy doesn't appear in any of our government documents. A republic is a form of democracy, but democracy isn't our form of government.
I wonder how many of these people are just bots, man. I remember reading an article recently that said that now it's estimated that over half the accounts on platforms like Twitter and stuff are bots and not human. We were joking about dead internet theory, but here we come, baby. It's just gonna be bots rage baiting each other. There aren't gonna be any humans left. Ooh, here is a car with some bikes on it. Heaviest bike should be at position 1, not 4.
How the bikes are loaded doesn't affect the static tongue weight.
I think they mean torque.
Which is what my question was about. Both the rack and hitch are significantly under their rated capacities. So for convenience, I loaded the small bikes closer to the hitch so I could still open the trunk, although I appreciate that strictly speaking this isn't optimal.
You should look up how a lever works. I feel like there's a lot of mix-ups in the logic here, right? Putting the heaviest bikes furthest out is absolutely going to increase the torque, but the total weight or mass or whatever is not going to increase. But the force in the torque point is still going to increase by putting the heaviest thing the furthest away. But also, if it's not over capacity or whatever, I guess you can still do it so you can open the trunk. So I think it's just fine one way or another, but it's definitely the case of mixing up like mass and weight with torque.
Finster. My pronouns are he, not him, because I'll never be him.
Oh, it's a bit of an older tweet.
Oh, you are right. You'll never be a guy. No pee-pee for you.
I do believe Finster has changed pronouns since then, but it's still it's still a really funny comment, man. It's so amazing that the We Can Always Tell crowd can in fact like never tell. I changed my clock to alphabetical time. 8, 11, 5, 4, 9. Oh my god, this is so painful. Does it also jump around in between the numbers accordingly?
Alphabetical. So 1 is 8, 2 is 11, 3 is 5, 4, 4, 5, 9. What the frick? Alphabetical is A, B, C, D, E, not E, E, F, no.
But what if there is no A or B? Or what? It's still, you can still sort things alphabetically without having the whole alphabet. What is this comment even on about, man? This reoccurring meme regularly confuses people because 2 is at the top instead of 8. And going by Reddit comments, about half the people consider the top position to be the first, not the last, because it also represents 000. I admit, it took me a second, and I can read analog clocks just fine. Well, maybe not this analog clock. Dear God, this feels like a bad prank, you know, when you've scrambled all the keys on a keyboard. It's along the lines of that.
Why does the dust fall back down?
Gravity?
No, there is no gravity on the moon.
Oh my god, man, no! There is this beautiful thing about the internet that it gives everyone a voice. But the internet can also be a really horrible place in that it gives everyone a voice. User insists art is AI, even after given proof due to the lack of a time lapse, refuses to share tools they use to check the art.
AI is not allowed here.
This is not AI, it's entirely my own work. Here are some sketches I made of it beforehand.
I checked 6 different AI detection pages, and I am getting the same result every time. 98% chance of it being AI. Could you share the time lapse?
But AI checking tools are also kind of bad. I think we've all seen the drama about like checking schoolwork and essays, and as soon as you just use like big words, it always thinks it's AI. Those tools aren't really complex enough to keep up at this point. Most AI detection sites are inaccurate and should not be used to confirm if an art piece is fake or not. I even used my own art to test it out and was told my art had a 60-70% chance of it being AI. Could I ask what site you checked?
I checked my own art on all the same sites and I got 2 to 4%.
Okay, but still not linking the sites, which leads me to believe that maybe you didn't actually check it. I have never recorded a time-lapse on my work in Procreate, so unfortunately I don't have a video for this drawing. However, I can share the entire file with layers and screenshots of the work in progress to show exactly how I created it. This reminds you of like the Markiplier thumbnail drama, you know, when he was on TikTok and be like, no, here's all the Photoshop stuff and that kind of thing. It's the same thing, isn't it? You mentioned 6 websites that supposedly detect AI. Can you share the links? Out of curiosity, I checked several detectors, and none of them flagged it as AI, though I know these tools can be very unreliable. This is my own work, and honestly, this whole situation has taught me to start recording time lapses in the future. And here they're showing the final image with all the layers as well. Which seems pretty legit, because I don't think anyone that would AI generate this dog image would like go back and like try to pull it apart into different layers to try to make it look legit, which probably would take them out about the same effort as drawing it from scratch anyway, you know?
You don't actively record time lapses. Procreate does that automatically, and it's turned on by default, so you would actively have to turn it off. The layers don't prove much.
Don't they? Really?
Especially when the sketch layers are missing and there are gaps in the layer numbers.
Oh, because people never like delete layers or whatever. God, you should see my Photoshop files for like thumbnails or channel art or whatever. It's like layer 167. And here's layer 2, because it's like the same reaction image I used 5 months ago, you know? It's like, that's just kind of how it goes, man.
But if it is truly your work, I of course apologize.
I mean, the layer numbers don't prove anything one way or another, even if it was fake. You could just name the layers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 manually. What are these arguments, man? This is just witch hunting.
There are gaps in the layer numbers.
Check out this guy who never deletes or merges layers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should see my damn Photoshop files. They're a disaster. But yeah, there's definitely a difference between like believing what is right or wrong, or how to moderate, for example, an art subreddit, versus like witch hunting and doubling down on opinions even when they are proven to be false. Ignorance is bliss. You obviously don't know how words actually work. Being against homosexuality isn't homophobic. What? Your pretentious, condescending tones, says this person, is exactly why your opinion is weak. He never disliked them. He disagreed. That's the difference, and you are getting caught up in delusional grandeur crafted by some uninformed gnat you take every word as truth from. Okay, like, disagreeing can be supportive in certain contexts. Like, for example, you have a good friend who you think is about to make a mistake because maybe they haven't thought something through, and you're like, hey buddy, have you thought about XYZ? Because that's what a good friend would do. Being a good friend isn't the same as being a yes-sayer. So in that way, disagreeing with people can sometimes be supportive. But there's a vast difference between disagreeing with someone who's like, hey, I'm gonna go out and make a mistake, versus this is literally who I am and I'm just existing. It's like, oh, I disagree with your, existence? That's not being supportive. That is actively disapproving of their very being. That is completely different. Henry IV, King of France, was playing with his children on all fours. Oh, look at that. Royal daddy time. Hell yes. This is one of the most brutal, most bloodthirsty, call my wife abusing kings of all time. It's a shame that you haven't picked up a book about this. I can't even imagine not knowing that Henry VIII killed, R-worded, and abused all of his wives. Shaking my frickin' head. The one on the painting is Henry IV, not Henry VIII. It's also the wrong country. It's Henry IV, King of France, not England. It's the wrong number. Wrong name, I think, and also the wrong country. Got the country wrong as well, it seems. Why stop at one piece of misinformation when you can have 2 or 3? I turned off the air conditioner, and now the air isn't being conditioned.
Actually, the air conditioner is what cools the air. The climate control system is what conditions it by mixing air from different sources to reach the set temperatures. I am not asking for cold air. I'm asking for it to stop pumping oven-hot air from the engine bay.
Cooling is conditioning? Why do you think it's called an air conditioner? You can't make it do that. It's pulling ambient air from outside and from the engine bay. It's summertime. The air it's pulling from outside is going to be hot. This feels like a very self-inflicted technical issue, doesn't it? Unexpected day. Frick everything about that. Car, sure. Motorcycle, absolutely not. I am turning around. No kidding. Carbon monoxide, radiant heat, and particles will get you much faster on a bike.
Carbon monoxide? Dude, go back to school. That only happens when there's not enough oxygen. Not an issue in open space fires.
What are you on about? There is tons of CO from wildfires, and it's a serious danger even miles away. CO is extremely toxic, even in small amounts. Firefighters don't wear respirators for CO2. They wear them for CO. Hemoglobin in your blood has an affinity for CO 200 times higher than oxygen. That is what makes it so dangerous. I remember they taught us this back in like 5th grade during fire drills in school, and the way they explained it to us when we were 10 was basically that the carbon monoxide essentially hijacks your bloodstream. It sticks onto the red blood cells, and then there is no room for the oxygen to jump on board, and it just kind of stays there. So essentially you're suffocating even though you're technically still breathing oxygen and whatever, because the bloodstream is just occupied with something else that isn't doing you any good. That's why it's so dangerous. Do you know, germ theory is nothing but a hoax. You have got it backwards. The shots are the contagion. They didn't eradicate disease. They resurrected it. If you trace back every outbreak you clutch your pearls over, you'll see it started in the most vaccinated populations. This isn't by coincidence. But also, isn't it also that like outbreaks happen and then you make vaccines, and outbreaks typically spread more in densely populated areas, and that's also where you're gonna have the most vaccines because it's just the most people? I don't think this is like the causation oomph that you think it is. These products don't immunize, they weaponize. They shed, they spread, they create new variants that would have never existed if pharma hasn't been injected half the planet with a liability-free poison. The very illnesses you claim to fear are being manufactured, packaged, and injected under the label of prevention. Herd immunity is a cute fairy tale, but it collapses the second you inject the herd with a leaky shot that turns every arm into a bioreactor. This is like next level shit. They're not even going to like the 5G chip in your brain or whatever. Now I have a bioreactor in my arm? Fuck yeah, man. Your so-called immunity is pharma's endless contagion loop, ensuring the next booster has a market. Florida isn't fueling the coffin industry by ending mandates. Vaccines were invented by coffin companies to sell more coffins? I mean, if I was a very long-term investor in coffins, I would just maximize world population because everyone dies at some point. That would be a better strat, you know, if you're gonna do it that way. unvaccinated kids aren't walking disease bombs. I don't think anyone says they are. They're the control group that keeps proving just how sick the vaccinated are. But also, like, sometimes you can be asymptomatic. That's why, for example, it's very picky with vaccination stuff if you're dealing with cancer patients, for example, that are immunocompromised, because then it's very important that, you know, you're not asymptomatic and, like, infecting them with something that can be really dangerous for them, even though your immune system might be able to handle it just fine. The biggest plague of all isn't measles or polio. It's blind obedience to an industry that operates on a completely false theory of germs and contagions, for the sole purpose of keeping society's sick tax slaves dependent on a Trojan horse savior in our medical system. I'm not sure if I follow what the motivator for the conspiracy would be. Sell more coffins? I mean, then I would just maximize birth and just, I don't know, maximize the population, because everyone dies at some point and then you're gonna need more coffins or whatever, you know? This sounds like a bad conspiracy. They don't even know how to investment bro your way into death, you know? A man arrested for having Opium brand perfume.
The reason your husband's being placed on arrest is because he had opium.
What is that?
Opium. It's a Schedule II controlled substance, okay?
Yeah, it's an illegal perfume.
He doesn't...
It's a drug. So he had that in his center console.
Okay.
So right now he's being placed under arrest. Okay. He's gonna be taken
Poor
down to
lady,
Slick County Jail
man.
and be processed through.
Poor lady, they're just busting the husband for dealing opium. And she's like panicking about it, like, why am my husband getting arrested? Is he a drug dealer? But in reality, it's just
Until Monday.
perfume.
Until Monday, ma'am.
Okay.
So until he can see the judge, okay?
Okay, hold on 1 second, please.
You need to take a deep breath, though, okay?
1 second, please.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, please. I'm confused on why he's going to jail.
This is
I
so
want to see this,
sad.
please, sir.
Okay.
I want to see this, please.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, it's both the panic of, like, your husband going to jail, and also, like, is he a heckin' drug dealer? Like, that is so sad.
Oh, he doesn't even know what's going on either.
So he's got opium. He's got a vial of opium, liquid opium, that was in the center console.
Can I please talk to him? He has a cell phone on him. Can I get his cell phone? His family's gonna be worried sick about him.
Yes.
Can I please get his cell phone?
But before we go over there, I need you to bring it down a level.
This is
okay?
so sad.
Okay.
Okay. We're not going to go over there with us being super hyped up
Okay.
emotionally, okay?
Okay.
So if we go over there, are you going to be able to stay calm for me?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's what I'm going to do as well for you guys, okay? So typically we would tow a vehicle, but since you guys are married, I'm going to see if he's okay with you taking it, okay? And then we'll leave it here.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
This feels like it's a
I need you to
pending
bring it down just a
lawsuit
level for me, okay?
for,
Before we
like,
go over there.
emotional distress.
Okay. Alright, so your vehicle right here, is she good to take your vehicle?
Yes, sir. I can
Okay.
do it.
Okay, the keys in your pocket right now?
I would like you to show him what you found in the car, please.
Also, she kind of knows, I think.
I've never seen this in my life. This. Have you ever seen this?
This is a scent.
It has written on here opium.
Opium scent. Open challenge.
Can you
Nobody
test
can
it?
do it.
Can you test
I'm going to
it?
send it off to the drug lab.
You don't have anything to test it right now?
I'm
need to
okay.
test it right
I
now.
believe in my Lord, so don't worry.
So,
Can you?
unfortunately, I don't, ma'am.
Calm down.
Okay.
I believe in my
No,
Lord.
you're gonna stay in jail till Monday. What do you mean calm down? I'm gonna tell your mother.
It's just a perfume. It's a perfume for smoking cigarette.
I swear to me,
Simple.
Camille.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy.
Where did you get this from?
From Rizwan store.
You swear to me. I'm calling
swear.
Rizwan. Where's your cell phone? Can I take
I
it with
swear
me?
on my mom and dad. I'm gonna eat their flesh if I do anything wrong.
Oh my god, that is so sad. What a mess. These morons think they would react the same to a box of opium-scented incense? Yes, edit. If these brainless pieces of found a bottle of something that said weed and killer inside a louse bag with a receipt next to it, they would arrest you for possession and attempted murder. Oh baby, 2 for 1, hell yes. The thing I also find like a bit, I don't know, naively cartoonish about this is that if you actually had a little bottle with something like this in it, you probably wouldn't write opium on the bottle. Like, the closest I have ever gotten to anything of this is when I was sneaking around like a bit of stolen wine when I was like 17 or whatever. But you usually had it in like an inconspicuous glass bottle inside a paper bag or something. It's not like you wrote on the outside of the bottle like, oh, this is stolen wine and I am underage, you know. That's not really how anyone does things. It's like so cartoonish. This is something I would expect to see in a cartoon. Possums and opossums glow pink under black light. You are welcome. Oh my god, that's so cute! I need this. I need a possum aquarium. Can you have a possum aquarium with black lights? I need this now. Possums and opossums. Maybe because they're the same frickin' thing. Australian possums are different and they also glow. No. Sure, okay, if you insist. The Australian Museum and wildlife biologists all over the world would disagree, but sure. No one calls those possums. I'm Australian, I assure you, we do call them possums. No one calls what possums? The animal that is actually named possum? How do you refer to them then? They are brushtails. But what about the ringtails? Yes, that is a type of possum. Jeez, I don't even know what the argument is anymore, man. The common name, opossum, for various phalangariform species derives from the creature's resemblance to the opossums of the Americas. However, although opossums are also marsupials, Australasian possums are more closely related to other it's a tongue twister. Marsupials such as kangaroos. I have never seen the resemblance myself. Being an Australian who spent 6 months hiking in the US, I've seen plenty of both. Ours looks like cute little teddy bears. Theirs look like scream rats. They don't really look that similar. I mean, I guess they can still be similar, but look different, I suppose. But I feel like this topic is one of those that you're just gonna follow comment sections online forever. This comment thread reminds me so much, though, of an argument under one of my own videos from another Confidently Incorrect thing. It was like a short video about someone hunting wild boar, and then comments under the short were like, "Oh, you're shooting the wild boar? You should attack it with a knife like a real man. Get down in the dirt with it." And of course, as a Swedish person myself who has seen wild boar aplenty, I'm like, man, that's a death wish. Wild boar are pretty big and tanky. I'm not even sure if you could like get through that thick skin with a knife. You're really playing with, well, not fire, but like really deadly pigs here. And then people were like disagreeing with this take, and I was like, how can people disagree with this? Don't people know how big and like dangerous wild boar can be? They're like tiny little tanks. And then I started searching this online, and I found out that like in Texas, in the US or something, there is like a niche service that offers you to like hunt tiny wild boar or wild pigs or whatever with like knives and spears and shit. But they're like also, you know, a fifth of the size or whatever. They're like tiny little wild pigs. But in this video that was shown in the Confidently Correct video is very obvious like a big fucking wild boar in like a Nordic forest. So it's kind of funny. Sometimes things do be different in different parts of the world, but yeah, I'm not sure if I would recommend going and trying to hunt wild boar with a knife. That sounds very silly.
Did you know scientists found sniffing rosemary can increase memory by 75%?
What do you mean increase memory with 75%? Like when you install more RAM in your brain? Is that what it does?
Rosemary breaks down a chemical in the brain known as acetylcholine. This allows nerve cells to communicate with one another more effectively.
So this is bullshit wrapped around truth. Oh, it's when you get like a little taco and the bread looks all toasty and nice, but then it's just like a turd inside instead of actual food. It gets all the specific facts wrong while still coming to the correct conclusion that rosemary helps memory. According to research, rosemary appears to help retain this chemical by slowing the chemical's breakdown. This chemical assists in memory, in addition to serving other areas of neurotransmission. The 75% thing, like the rest of the post, likely comes from a complete and utter misunderstanding of the real data. One pretty good scientific rule of thumb I have when I scroll the internet is that when I see a cartoonish infograph like this, there's something like, "Ooh, increase brain by 90%, eat dirt." It's not real, okay? It's not real. 90% of it is like essential oils or whatever. Transvestigators have reverse transvestigated Dylan Mulvaney to conclude that she must have been born a woman, forcibly transitioned to male as a kid, and then transitioned into female in adulthood. I see soft female clavicles despite the crazy low body fat and female neck on this probable double flipper. Brow ridge and 5 o'clock shadow are easily added via surgery and hormones. Energy from eyes screams female as well. Thoughts? Possibly FMF? There are other body markers to look at as well. Shoulder to hip ratio, leg and arm length, the way the stride and strut presents itself. Oh my god, these are the same kind of people that break down like body language in images, you know? If you have a picture of a couple, for example, and one person leans in, it's like, oh, then he's a beta cuck because otherwise your penis would face the world or something like that. It's the same thing. Also, they have obviously never done photography or anything because they would know that makeup or shadow or light or whatever can vastly change how you look. Not to mention other preparatory things for like, you know, professional models and stuff like fasting or, you know, putting on extra muscle or putting on extra fat or whatever. You can make yourself look very different pretty fast when you do this kind of stuff. Sometimes it's very hard, because some children are being transitioned before they hit puberty. Yes, that is my theory, that she was denied puberty which kept hips narrow and then hormones possibly helped. Oh my god, they have their own little bubble man, but no one knows the least thing about what they're talking about. This is fascinating. Thermosphere, 2000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel, but our tinfoil satellites are fine. Ooh, AI image of cooking marshmallow on satellite. Yes, and 212 Fahrenheit will burn your hand badly. If it's water, you put your hand in, but you'll be just fine if it's air with the same temperature. It's almost like the amount of molecules matter. I don't know how fine you would be somewhere that is 100 degrees Celsius. I have been in saunas that are 100 degrees Celsius. You can't be in there for very long, mind you. It's not like a comfortable place to be. But it's not like you instantly boil. The thing that people misunderstand with this kind of stuff, like with the satellite or whatever, is that heat transfer is the main thing that you feel, right? And something hot or cold can usually transfer more or less heat, but it can also be vastly different. For example, if you're in a room that is 20 degrees Celsius, that's like roughly room temperature. It's just like normal, common, lukewarm kind of vibe. But if you touch a piece of metal, you know, for example, I don't know, like this is in the room, it's the same temperature as the rest of the room, but this feels colder than the room around me. It's because this metal transfers heat better than the air around me. Air is a very good insulator. That's why walls are so fluffy on the inside and that kind of stuff. While metal is a very good heat transfer. You know, that's why it feels colder, because it pulls heat away faster from your hands than the air around you can do. So that is what you feel. It doesn't mean that the metal here is literally colder. It just means that it will balance out the heat faster when you touch it with your hands that are warmer. Did you know that the North Pole is closer to Polaris than it is to North Africa? I didn't. Wait, what? Tangents never block anything above them, yet your globe insists the horizon does cut objects bottom up. Is this flat earth stuff? Oh my god, I've missed flat earth stuff, this is great. Here is your problem in one picture. On a globe, the line of sight to Polaris from a 9-degree north intersects Earth's curve long before the pole. What? If tangents don't block, your horizon obstruction vanishes. If horizons do block, Polaris is impossible. Either way, globe geometry collapses. Okay, so North Pole, line of sight to Polaris across 500, 700 miles does not work, period. So here's an arrow from equator to North Pole, and I have no idea what they're even trying to say, man. I am like legitimately confused. Oh, it seems I'm not the only one. I can't follow the logic in the post. What on earth does he try to explain? He's busy explaining how bad his understanding of scale is. Ah, that's where the confusion comes in. I just couldn't follow it. It was complete mess. Fake! Real! There are no solar flares because the sun is not a ball of fire. I mean, technically you're like half correct because it's not like a burning campfire in the sky or whatever, but the rest is kinda whack, yo. And like both pictures I think are just real. One is just like a regular camera picture when the sun is going down through some clouds, and the other one is probably made by some like satellite telescope of like the sun itself, so I don't know, man. Oh my god. Stamford, CT woman argues with Barnes & Noble's employees for not allowing her to stay in the store after hours. Stamford Karen freaks out when she finds out business is closed.
I advised you to call them so you don't...
Why is she filming? You just entered the store, like, during closing hours. Why?
Remember. I don't. Thank you.
But you're still here.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't. Because once this gets to corporate, I want the same energy. I really do.
You got it.
I know.
We don't allow customers to hang out in the
I'm
store
not
after
I'm
you
not
are a
hanging
customer.
out.
You are.
In your store. I came in before the closing time.
Ended at
Legally,
8 o'clock.
I can come. This is
There
still a
is
public place.
This is private property.
It's not private.
It is private.
Legally, look it up. Look
You
it up.
look it up.
They cannot arrest me.
Okay.
They cannot.
We'll
I'm
see
not
that.
trespassing.
Why is always the people that say look it up that so obviously haven't looked it up themselves?
Okay,
Look
we'll
it up.
find out when they get here.
No, yeah. They're gonna ask me politely, do I want to leave? But legally, my rights, I don't have to.
I'm pretty sure you'll get kicked out of a private establishment after closing hours. They can remove you for whatever reason they want, you know.
Spaces are
Where's your
like
policies
outside,
and I
not
would
here.
love to read your policies and procedures, and then I will. No, you can bring them up, and then if that's accurate, then I.
Oh my god, can you imagine working like the cashier in this Barnes & Noble's, and you're like closing up, it's like 8 in the evening or whatever, you just want to go home, have your late dinner, and crash so you can get enough sleep for the morning. And you have this like lady who's claiming that, no, you can't close up because I am, I don't know, legally allowed to be here even though the store is closing. You're sitting there like, oh my god, I don't get paid enough for this. These jobs should get paid a Karen hazard pay. I swear to god, if I ever become a politician, that's what I'm gonna run into office for. Karen hazard pay, baby. Under Trump's executive order, every single person in America is now legally classified as female. Woo! All embryos begin by developing female sex organs, with male sex organs only replacing them around 6 weeks of gestation. Female means person belonging to, at conception, to the sex that produces the large reproductive cell. We're all female now. Congratulations.
Aeroplanes fly because they take hydrogen gas as fuel, but not liquid fuel. Buoyancy causes the lift, just like a fish. A fish swims in water because the air bladder inside of it. Puncture the air bladder, the fish will sink.
This is someone banned from the local fish or pet store. Local aquariums have a restraining order against him. Oh my god. There has been work on hydrogen-powered airplanes. I actually work with a lot of engineers who used to work on that. The problem is that the equipment for hydrogen-powered engines is heavy. Hydrogen fueling and storage can be dangerous, and all that poo is expensive. Most of the hydrogen-powered stuff out there is an electric motor. The hydrogen is basically a battery with advantages. You can charge the engine in minutes. And disadvantages. Oh, the humanity. Sounds like this guy is just talking about rigid airships, though. And also talking about torturing fish. That's important to remember, and laughing weirdly on Twitter. I was just about to check Facebook Marketplace for a Sony lens after some Reddit scrolling. Never mind, unfortunate situation. Luckily, it's caught on camera. A few $100s isn't worth dying over.
Dye, a natural or synthetic substance used to add a color and or change color of something. Dye, to pass from physical life. Learning the meaning of words before posting isn't difficult. Dyeing means adding color to something. Dyeing means to die, as in death or not alive. Additionally, never mind is 2 words, not 1.
I think dyeing refers to the act of cutting something with a die-cast tool or machine. This is the same thing as that store Karen. I mean, you're on your phone. You can just look up what these words are in another tab before posting it confidently in a comment. It's arguably worse than the Karen in the store because at least she's doing it in like live time and it's a bit of a hassle to look it up. Here it's not live. You can just look it up before posting the comment. Oh my god. I wonder what percentage of people online who are like confidently incorrect do it on purpose because they have like a kink for being yelled at, you know? What do you think? Let me know your scientific hypotheses in the comments.
I am a trans woman. My pronouns are she, her, and I will not be silenced.
No, you will always she, for me.
I mean, they don't have the spirit, but they got it right anyway somehow. And the tit being impressed by a woman's beauty is super gay. We have officially come full circle. Being straight is gay. I guess unless you're also another lady, then you gay. There is no escape from the gay. Post-NASA lies. The sun has moved 3 million miles further from Earth. Must be summer. I mean, it's also like, you know, it's not, it tilts, and it's not the same season all over the globe, you know, because it's like different amounts of sun hours and
The black sun is the source of power for the sun and moon. The black sun that is located in the middle of our realm at the North Pole, whose electromagnetic energy is seen as the Northern Lights.
This sounds like a cool setting for like a D&D thing. Honestly, I might use this one, thank you. If they are telling us to drink a gallon of water a day, we should do the opposite. Think about it. All water systems are poisoned. Your tap, bottled water, even your lame Brita and filtered water, it's probably 85% efficient for the first few uses, then drops down to probably 60-70%. Wait, 85% efficient for what? Like hydrating? What do you, I mean, yeah, if you just chug a bunch of water, most of it you just pee out if you drink too much too fast. You know, it's better to do it gradually, I guess. Is that the point? It makes no sense, especially since if you dry fast for 1 day, it's equivalent to water fasting for 3 days. Wait, dry fast for 1 day, water fasting for 3. Don't not drink water for 3 days. You'll like die, man. I say switch it up, guys. I guess die twice. From now on, juice alkaline fruit. If you want a water fast, use cucumber water, watermelon water, coconut water, or melon water. Structured water. Ooh, that's it. That's like a conspiracy scam thing. I remember we read about it in a previous video. The other water is coated with trash and tainted on a molecular level. Hashtag trust me. Hashtag water conspiracy.
All of those named alkaline fruits are acidic, ranging from about 5 to 6.5 pH.
It reminds me of that life hack that was trending on like TikTok and stuff a while ago when it was like, ooh, you should drink alkaline water and add citrus to it. But then it's acidic because you added the citrus, you know, so there's nothing alkaline about this. They just use words. It's just word pooping. Okay, it's word pooping.
You're so handsome. You don't care that I'm trans, dude? I'm gay, not PP sexual.
Facts! Cause trans men are biological men who pretend to be female. They are still men, as they will always be, but they have the mental illness when they want to be the opposite sex, so they get to trans. The trans man is a biological man who pretends to be a woman. Right on.
I understood what you're trying to say, but he doesn't have the spirit, but he still somehow ended up being supportive. Woo! Oh wait, is this the same dude who had the water conspiracy? Oh my god, there's more conspiracies. If you have a rash, pee on it. If you have a cut or scar, pee on it. Want clearer skin? You guessed it right, pee on it. You want to feel better? Drink your pee. Fasting? Drink your pee. Eye problems? Take a glass of pee and pee... take a glass dropper and pee in it. Okay, it was literally that. I was kind of joking. Anyway, every night before bed, drip it into your eyes, and in the morning when you wake, watch your eye strain vanish. Want to go a step further? How about programming it? Write on a label, heal eye/clear vision. Notice how in desperate situations, when we are stuck in a desert or on a boat, we drink our urine and it keeps us alive. If it was some toxic poison, it would kill us. Instead, it gives life to go on. Wake up. Your urine is the most potent remedy to all your issues, and you ignore it. Drink it. #urine, #urine therapy, #the cure. Okay, but I think there's a difference between literally like thirsting to death or starving and eating or drinking whatever you can get your hands on due to desperation. That doesn't mean it's the optimal thing to do. I mean, you could argue the same thing with food. If you're starving, you're gonna eat whatever the heck you can get your hands on. But it's probably not, the best, most optimized diet because you don't have the options. That doesn't mean it's the best thing ever. What if jets don't even run on fuel the way we're being told? Think about it. Modern turbines could actually be tapping into zero-point energy, pulling infinite power from the etheric field around us. This sounds like some warp engine drives from like Warhammer 40k. Now here is where it gets wild. Those turbines look almost identical to the pillars of ancient temples, and even the designs of their roofs. So our ancestors built spaceships out of rocks. Our ancestors already mastered free energy, building sacred structures as living power stations. But instead of teaching us this truth, the system buries it, hiding advanced technology in plain sight while selling us the lie of scarcity. What if the so-called progress of aviation is really just stolen ancient wisdom repackaged? Look at this. This like decoration on this old pillar is vaguely similar to the shape of like the core of a turbine. You know what else it's vaguely similar to? A penis.
Sponsored. Find out which food you should eat, avoid, and enjoy all based on your body's unique biology. RNA is the new DNA. What the fuck? Reveal your body's superfoods by testing your genes. Wow, I am so glad our standards for ads and information is so high.
Well, that's the end of this atrocious video. You know what they say, kiddos, RNA is the new DNA. So anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here, you wonderful, beautiful being, and have an amazing rest of your day because you do deserve it. And take care. Mwah.